I have kept this inside for 2 years. 2 years of sitting in this house, in this chair, looking out this same window. 2 years of people asking me how I'm doing, and me saying, fine, thank you, because what else do you say? How do you explain to someone what happened to me? How do you find the words for something that doesn't have words? I'm 93 years old. I have lived through more than most people will ever see. But nothing, not one single thing in 93 years prepared me for what I found out at my husband's funeral. And today, I'm finally ready to talk about it. My name is Dorothy. I live alone in Savannah, Georgia, in the same house where I raised my 3 children. The man I was married to for 51 years, Harold Eugene Calloway, passed away 2 years ago. And the day I buried him was the day I found out I never fully knew him at all. Stay with me, because this story is not what you think it is. And by the end of it, I think it's going to stay with you for a very long time. Harold was the kind of man people trusted immediately. Warm eyes, a slow, easy smile, the kind of man who remembered your birthday and your mother's name and what kind of pie you liked. I fell in love with him in the spring of 1974. We were married by October of that same year. My mother said we moved too fast. She was right about a lot of things, my mother, but I was 31 years old, and Harold Calloway was the most steady, dependable, gentle man I had ever met, and I did not listen. We had 48 years together, 48 real years. I want to say that plainly because it would be easy now, knowing what I know, to look back and erase everything, to say it was all a lie. But that's not the truth, and I've promised myself I'm only going to tell the truth today. Harold was a wonderful father. He sat in the front row at every one of our daughter Patricia's dance recitals, even the ones that stretched 2 hours long. He drove 4 hours every weekend for nearly a year when our youngest, James, was going through a hard time. He was present, he was warm, he was everything you would want in a father. And he was kind to me, patient, consistent. In 48 years of marriage, he never once raised his voice at me. When we disagreed, and of course we did, Harold had this way of sitting down across from you and simply talking it through, quietly, calmly, like he genuinely believed that every problem had a solution if you were both willing to look for it together. That is the man 312 people came to say goodbye to on a Thursday morning in April 2 years ago. I counted. I had nothing else to hold on to during that service except counting the faces filing into Mount Calvary Baptist Church, because if I stopped counting, I was going to fall apart. And I had made a decision that morning, sitting in front of my mirror in my black dress. I was not going to fall apart, not in public, not that day. I made it through the service. I made it through the burial. I made it through the reception at our house afterward, all those casseroles and flower arrangements and gentle hands squeezing mine. People kept saying, "He was such a good man, Dorothy, such a good man." And I smiled and I thanked them and I kept myself together. And then I saw her. There was a woman at the reception I didn't recognize. That wasn't unusual on its own. Harold knew many people, old colleagues, neighbors from years ago, friends from church communities in other cities. I didn't think anything of it when I first noticed her. She looked to be around 65 or so. Well-dressed, she stayed mostly near the back of the room, close to the windows, and she never came through the receiving line. What made me notice her was that she was crying. Not the quiet, composed kind of crying that people do at funerals. She was really crying, the kind that comes from somewhere deep that you cannot stop no matter how hard you try. She had her hand pressed over her mouth, and she was standing very still by the window, and something about her told me this was not the grief of a distant acquaintance. I almost went to comfort her. I genuinely almost walked across the room to put my hand on her shoulder. Before I could, my daughter Patricia appeared at my side. She took my arm and gently pulled me into the hallway, away from everyone, and her face stopped me completely. I had never seen that expression on Patricia before. She looked like someone trying very hard to hold herself together for the sake of someone else. She said, "Mama, there's something you need to know." I said, "Patricia, whatever it is, it can wait. This is not the day." She took both my hands in hers. She said, "Mama, it can't wait. That woman by the window, her name is Cecilia Morris." She paused. "She's been calling the house. I found one of Daddy's old phones this morning when we were going through his things. She had left voicemails." Another pause. The longest pause of my life. "Mama, she says Daddy was her husband too." I want to tell you exactly what I felt in that moment because I think it matters. Nothing. For nearly 30 seconds, I felt absolutely nothing at all, like someone had turned the volume off on in the entire world. I could see people moving around the room. I could see the plates of food and the flower arrangements and the photographs of Harold we had set out on the tables. But I couldn't feel anything, not even the floor beneath my feet. And then it came, all of it, at once. I did not make a scene. That is not who I am. I walked back into that room and I walked directly to the woman standing by the window. She saw me coming. I watched the color leave her face. I said very quietly, "I think you and I need to find somewhere private to sit." Her name was Cecilia Morris, 67 years old. She lived in Charleston, South Carolina, 2 hours from Savannah. She and Harold had been together for 22 years, married, she said, in 2003, quietly, no announcement. She found out about me the same way I found out about her, going through his belongings after he passed. I want you to sit with that for a moment. This woman had given 22 years of her life to my husband, and she found out the truth the same morning I did. We sat across from each other at my kitchen table while the sounds of the reception drifted in from the other room. 2 women, both of us completely in the dark, both of us trying to understand how the same man had existed in 2 separate lives without either of us ever seeing a single sign. She said, "I am so sorry. I did not know. I promise you, I did not know." I believed her then. I believe her still. I said just one word, "How?" She said he told her he traveled for work, that he was a consultant, that his schedule required him to be away frequently. Harold had retired in 2001. He had never worked as a consultant. Before I continue, I want to pause for just a moment. If this story is reaching you, if something in what I've shared is touching something in your own life, please consider subscribing to this channel. It is completely free. The days that followed the funeral are difficult to describe. My son Marcus was deeply shaken. Patricia moved between composure and tears, sometimes within the same minute. James went very quiet, which frightened me more than anything else, because James has never been a quiet person. And I sat in the middle of all of it and tried to do something that I'm not sure is actually possible. I tried to understand. How does a person build 2 lives side by side for more than 2 decades and keep them completely separated? How do you look at one woman in the evening knowing you were with another woman that morning? How do you sit across from your wife at dinner and carry something that heavy without ever in 48 years letting it show? I have thought about this nearly every day for 2 years, and the only answer I have come to is this. Harold was afraid. He was deeply, profoundly afraid of losing either of us, and so he kept choosing to keep going, kept telling himself that tomorrow he would find the courage to be honest, that tomorrow he would make it right. Harold passed away on a Tuesday evening in April. He was sitting in his armchair. He was gone before help could arrive. There was no tomorrow. We found letters when we went through his belongings, letters he had written to Cecilia over the years, and letters he had written to me. They were kept in the same wooden box, separated only by a rubber band. I read all of them, every single one. It took me 3 days. In a letter to me, written sometime around 2008 based on the handwriting, Harold wrote these words. I have read them so many times I know them the way I know the lines of my own hands. He wrote, Dorothy, I have made a mess of things that I do not know how to unmake. I tell myself every single day that I will find the courage to be honest with you, and every day I fail. You deserve so much more than the life I have given you. You have always deserved more. I am more sorry than I will ever be able to say. He folded that letter, he placed it in a box, and then he came downstairs and we had dinner together, and we did the crossword puzzle, and he kissed me goodnight. That is the part I have struggled with the most. Not the other life he was living, not even the years of silence. It is knowing that he knew. He understood exactly what he was doing. He felt the weight of it. He wrote it down. And then he chose, the very next morning and every morning after that, to keep choosing it. Cecilia and I have spoken several times since the funeral. I want to be clear about something. I do not hold her responsible for any of this. She was deceived as completely as I was. She is a woman who lost her husband and then discovered her marriage was not what she believed it to be, all in the same week. I understand that particular kind of pain now in a way I never expected to. The last time we spoke, she said something that I have thought about many times since. She said, Dorothy, I keep asking myself which version of Harold was the real one. I was quiet for a while before I answered. I said, I think they were both real. I think that was the most heartbreaking thing about him. He was capable of genuine love. He just was not capable of the honesty that love requires. She didn't say anything for a long moment. Then she said, That is the saddest thing I've ever heard. I said, I know. My children are each finding their way through this in their own time. Marcus has not found it easy to speak about his father. Patricia has been talking to someone, a counselor, which I think is wise and good. James calls me every single Sunday morning now, without fail. He never did that before. I think learning the truth about his father made him want to hold more tightly to what he still has. I understand that completely. Here is what I know, sitting here at 93 years old. Life has the ability to surprise you right up into the very end. You can spend 51 years beside someone, share a home, raise children, build a life together, and still not know everything there is to know about that person. That is a frightening thing to realize, but it is also deeply, profoundly human. Harold carried his secret for more than 20 years because he was afraid and because he was not strong enough to face the consequences of honesty, and because I believe he genuinely loved two people and could not bring himself to lose either one. That does not excuse what he did. I am not here to excuse it. What he did was a serious betrayal of trust, of me, of Cecilia, of our children, of everything we built across 5 decades. But I also know this. I loved Harold Calloway for 48 years. That love was real. It existed. It mattered. And I am not willing to allow what I discovered at his funeral to reach back through time and take that away from me. It has already taken enough. I am 93 years old. I do not have unlimited time left on this earth, and I refuse to use whatever time remains in bitterness toward a man who is no longer here to answer for any of it. Instead, I am choosing something much more difficult than bitterness. I am choosing to hold all of it at once. The love and the disappointment, the good man I knew and the choices he made that I will never fully understand, the 51 years that were real and the secret that was revealed on the day I said goodbye to him. All of it together at the same time. Some days that feels beyond what I am capable of, but most days I find a way. My daughter Patricia comes on Saturdays now. She sits with me in this room and we drink tea and we talk, really talk, in a way that we perhaps never did before all of this happened. My son James calls every Sunday without fail. Marcus is coming to visit next month. He is bringing his grandchildren, whom I have not yet met. I am going to meet my great-grandchildren for the first time at 93 years old. And if that does not tell you something about what it means to still be here, to still have people reaching toward you even after everything has changed, then I don't know what else I can offer you. To anyone watching this who is holding something difficult right now, some truth they don't know how to carry, some love that turned out to be more complicated than they expected, you are not alone. The hard things do not have to be carried in silence forever. There is something on the other side of saying them out loud. I don't know exactly what to call it, but I am sitting here in my chair in Savannah, Georgia, and for the first time in 2 years, I feel something that is just slightly lighter than what I felt before. Harold, I hope wherever you are, you finally found the peace you were looking for here. I loved you for 51 years. I just wish in all that time you had trusted me enough to tell me the truth. That is all I ever needed from you. Just the truth.